You're listening to AI Prism from Seoul Economic Daily.
If you are building in Korea, 3 funding doors moved this week. Pause. Public agencies are buying startup robots before the technology is proven. A fintech is raising bonds on its own credit instead of bank loans. And the cost of moving an engineer into the United States just jumped by a factor of 50. It's Wednesday, August 26th. Let's look at what this means for startups and entrepreneurs in Korea. Korea's Small Business Ministry is using public procurement as a proving ground for AI robotics. Later-stage startups are testing the domestic bond market as an alternative funding channel, and Washington is repricing the visa that Korean technology firms depend on. Here's what the numbers show. The Korea Heritage Service began field testing an autonomous patrol robot from LK Robotics over a 2.6-kilometer route at the Seooreung Royal Tombs, with each patrol taking about 50 minutes and the trial running till late November. The machine clears steps up to 20 centimeters high and handles slopes of about 30 degrees under a ministry program that buys startup robots first and validates them in service. Matter of fact, Viva Republica, the operator of TOS, issued 33 billion won of 5-year private bonds at a 6.06% coupon. That lifts its private placements this year to 220 billion won, roughly $158 million, and cumulative market debt to 270 billion won since December, with last month's 187 billion won issued unguaranteed on its own a 0 rating. The Department of Homeland Security published a rule charging $103,265 per H-1B petition, up from roughly $2,000 to $5,000, with a 30-day comment period and a final rule due by year-end. Korea ranked 5th among H-1B approval countries at 1% in fiscal 2024, behind India at 71% and China at 11.7%. So what does this mean for founders building in Korea? Earlier we said 3 funding doors moved. Short pause. Here's what that actually means for you. A public procurement contract now functions as validation capital for hardware startups, and a rated balance sheet buys 5-year money near 6% instead of equity dilution. The visa fee pushes the other way, adding a 6-figure line item for every engineer you place in the United States, which strengthens the case for keeping technical teams in Korea and hiring locally in America. Watch the Heritage Service purchase decision after the robot trial closes in late November. Watch the comment period on the H-1B rule and the final version due by year-end. Watch the Gyeongbuk AI and Metaverse Film Festival from September 3rd, where entries jump to 3,403 from 97 countries, and 20 overseas buyers meet Korean studios. That's today's AI Prism founders. This episode was produced with AI assistance based on Seoul Economic Daily reporting and reviewed by a human editor. AI Prism is a WAN-IFRA award-winning series. We'll be back tomorrow.
You've been listening to AI Prism from Seoul Economic Daily.